Hey up, how you all doing? I hope you've had a really nice day. It's been glorious weather here today, so wherever you are in the world, I hope you've had a nice sunny daytime and you've been spending some lovely time either by yourself, just recovering and recouping and getting yourself all organised for the next week, and or with your family, just having a lovely time. Um, I sort of didn't really know whether to do this or not, or what to talk about really, but one of the things I wanted to really discuss, and I think it's more for me than it is to support anybody else, is alcohol. Now, alcohol, well, actually, cast your mind back. Cast your mind back to a time when you'd go out with your mates, or you'd sit at home watching a movie with your fella or with your friends or with your family or whatever, and you'd have you'd have a lager, two, three lagers, you'd have a bottle of wine, and you'd have it with crisps, and you'd have it with chocolate, and then you'd still have tea and supper and whatever the bloody hell you wanted to that day. And then fast forward to anorexia, and fast forward to the fact that anorexia then tells you that alcohol equates to equal calories. I remember once sat in a cafe with James, my husband, and well, it was a cafe, it was a bar, and I had a smoothie because that was virtuous and wholesome and it was brilliant. And he had a pint of lager, and we were joking and cracking on because my smoothie that I thought was virtuous and wholesome was actually more calories and more nutritionally dense than his lager. So I just went back, but gave the smoothie back and ordered a pint of beer instead. I used to be a pint girl. I used to drink proper pints, like not just that dodgy British lager pints, but like proper pints, like Cameron's pints. And I've had a tough day today, and I've just been cooking. I'm cooking for tea. James and I are cooking. We're doing a curry. Amy's got a mate round. It's all very chilled, and I had to get James to pour my first glass of lager because for hours and hours and hours and hours I've been in an absolute spin because my head, I tried to really figure out what it is that I really want, and my head was telling me, you want a lager, there's nothing wrong with that, you want a lager. But anorexia was like, no, stop, you're not having a lager. If you have a lager, you can't have tea, and you want tea, so you can't have tea. So it was like, it's bullshit, total and utter bullshit, and the absolute desire for opposite actions. So I got my glass out that I like to use, and I just said to James, look, do me a favour, would you fill that with a can of lager? And he has, and I've had 2 cans, and but my head's like, rah, what are you doing, you still haven't had tea, and what is that all about? And at what point did we start to equate liquid and drinks? And actually, what point did we start to equate pleasure with something we had to deny ourselves of? Now, I appreciate some of you listening to this, you might have other concerns and behaviours to do with alcohol, which means that you choose and don't choose to drink for a total different reason, and that is your journey, and I 100% support you on that. But my journey doesn't involve that. My journey just is about restriction. And the restriction tonight, especially because of the mad spin my head's been in all day, I've had one of those, one of those days, was not to have it, but I really wanted it. And I think that's the thing. Anybody else in the entire world without an eating disorder would just have this stuff. Their bodies would deal with this stuff. Their heads wouldn't even acknowledge this stuff. It isn't food. It isn't an addition that you have to equate for. It's just something you want. And if you want beer, and then you want tea, and then you want pudding, and then you want a couple of more beers, and then later on before you go to bed you fancy a bit of chocolate, or you fancy a donut, or you fancy some ice cream, or some toast, or whatever it is. That's another video is toast. Anyway, if any of that thing, then you just have it. Our bodies just desire this stuff. That's why our heads think of it. But alcohol's a real sticky one for me. I've never been really into it. I'm not overly keen on the taste of it, but I do love freezing cold lager on a boiling hot day like today. So I've had two, but both of them has been absolute, like, just batter, 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 batter from the head point of view. But the only thing to do in a situation like that is to apply opposite actions and to do what it is that your absolute heart and your desire wants you to do. And then I'm going to have my curry, and I'm going to absolutely love it, and I'm going to have whatever it is afterwards that I fancy, and it's going to be lovely. Part of me is a bit gutted that I've actually run out of beer now, so I can't have any more. But liquid calories, if anyone's got any advice as to how to do it other than just doing it, stop seeing them as food and let's just do it. More importantly, the sun was shining. More importantly, look at how old I am. More importantly, however old you are, just give yourself a break. Just allow yourself a bit of freedom, a bit of space. You deserve it. We all deserve it. Let's just eat and drink and be merry. Take care, everybody. Hope you're alright. See you soon.